Hello, good morning, everyone. I hope everybody is doing fine. How many students are there in the chat? There are about 7 students. Yeah, there are about 7 participants as of now. Just for your kind notice, everybody has an option to unmute themselves and speak, is it? You can respond back in the chat box. Akshata, Ankush, Bhakti, Bhavna, Chandana, Lakshita.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, who spoke Bhakti? Bhakti. Yeah, Bhakti and Ankush.
Sir.
How you guys are feeling the online sessions? Just a feedback till most of the people join. I think they are in the previous class yet. So let them join. Till then, and meanwhile, we can have a feedback session on
Okay.
the online classes that are going on.
It is good, sir.
You are able to understand the
Yes.
concepts and other things, or is it becoming tougher? Is it to be made more easier, or how is it?
No, sir, we are understanding, sir.
Uh, how about with connection to PPTs and notes? Are you able to access it from Google Classroom or this one? What is this? Great Learning?
So we get those recorded sessions, sir, and PPTs. I don't know, sir.
So PPTs are not yet been shared with you people, or how is it?
Not yet, sir.
Not it, is it? Okay, what we'll do is in another by this week, what we'll do is we'll make sure that all the PPTs done till that day are going to be shared in the Google Classrooms. So that
Okay,
it is
sir.
going to make you easy. If you for your reference also, it is going to be helpful. What else? Yeah, Bhakti. Hello.
Huh?
Yeah. Now, yeah, people have started joining. Guys, I need a feedback on the sessions that is been happening so that till most of the people join, we can another 2 minutes or 3 minutes. We'll have a feedback session on the online classes that has been engaged, so that we can also change the things. If the timetable was given, it would be better, sir. Chandana, with respect to timetable, yes, the full-fledged timetable is being prepared. The reason it is not being shared with you is the only thing, since we are having university exams that are going on with respect to final year and also the repeaters of second semester, we haven't shared it, but we'll share it to you soon. Yes, madam. Yeah. So we'll start off with the classes today for the day. And
ನಮ್ಗೆ ಅವರೇ ಮ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ.
ಒಂದು ನಿಮಿಷ. Yeah, very good morning to one and all. So today we are going to start off with this topic and the subject of entrepreneurship management. So in this session, we are going to learn about entrepreneurship, meaning, introduction, definition of entrepreneurship, entrepreneur, and enterprise. And you are going to study the qualities of an entrepreneur and also the features of entrepreneurship. So this has been scheduled for today, and wherein you are going to understand in detailed meaning about entrepreneurship and other things. So basically, when I speak about something called as entrepreneurship management, before getting into entrepreneur or meaning of the definition, let's understand what is entrepreneurship management and why it is being integrated in your course called as PBA. So when I speak about entrepreneurship management, it is a study basically how an individual is going to build a new business, particularly to create a value for customers for whose needs are being not met. The needs of the customers that are being not met, and value is going to be created for them, and that value creation is called as entrepreneurship management. It can be through innovation of new ideas and also find the needs of the people innovatively and try to reach out their needs of the customers. Yeah. So innovation is what we are speaking about, something called as entrepreneurship. So when we speak about entrepreneurship management, here we have to understand that an individual who is going to build a new business, particularly for those to create a value for customers whose needs are unmet, and through innovation and other goals which they try to satisfy the needs of the consumers, is called as entrepreneurship management. So next, what is entrepreneurship? When we speak about entrepreneurship, it has multiple values, multiple meanings, it has multiple understandings. Yeah, a systematic innovation which consists in the purposeful and organized search for changes, and it is systematic analysis of opportunities such changes might offer for economic and social innovation. So when we speak about entrepreneurship, it is an indivisible process wherein the entrepreneur is going to identify the opportunities of the marketplace, arranging the resources that are available. It can be the natural resources or the physical resources or the human resources. Yeah. For pursuing those opportunities, whatever the opportunities that are available, to pursue those opportunities, and also what is that, capitalizing and getting the financial resources out there and exploit the opportunities for long term goals. So when I speak about entrepreneurship, it is an indivisible process of an entrepreneur. Entrepreneur is a person who is going to start up a business with a new idea in his mind. Further, you are going to be given more detailed information on the same. Yeah. And when I speak about when I speak about entrepreneurship as an aspect, here we can understand entrepreneurship is going to be done by an entrepreneur, or an enterprise is going to be started with respect to entrepreneurship. Next is, who is an entrepreneur? By the way, we are speaking about entrepreneur and other things. Who is an entrepreneur? An entrepreneur is an individual person who creates a new business, bearing most of the risk and enjoying the most of the rewards. Yeah. An entrepreneur is commonly seen as an innovator, a source of new ideas, goods, services, and also business and procedures. Here you are able to see the difference between a businessman and an entrepreneur. A businessman is a person who is going to start the business from the existing idea. Whatever the idea is that is being showcased, whatever the idea that is being enforced, he is going to start off with that existing idea that is already been there in the market. But when speaking about an entrepreneur, he is the one who is going to innovate the idea, who is going to see the needs of the consumers and also try to deliver across those needs of the consumers or the customer. It is going to be a fully new idea wherein nobody would have tried about it, or it is not been dealt in the market. is called as an entrepreneur. An entrepreneur is the one who seeks an unique idea and innovation which they are going to successfully utilize and develop as per the requirements of the customers. Next is, it is a businessman is a traditional approach, and when I speak about entrepreneur, it is a revolutionary approach. So when I speak about something called as traditional approach, a business that has been already set up, which has been already running from many years, and the and then person, it is a continuity of a legacy that we can say across. When I speak about legacy, I'm speaking about clearly about uh, whatever the business that is being set up by the traditional aspects, the father, grandfather, their father, and etc., that is going to be followed, and that is going to be developed, and it's going to be increased. But when in an entrepreneur, what happens is, it is going to be a revolutionary idea that is going to be developed. It is going to be overall new factor or a new impact that is going to be created in the whole environment of business, that is going to build across new innovations, new ideas, new developments, which is going to end of the day help the organization in terms of getting in the new innovation towards the end users or the consumers. Next is, in a businessman, he avoids taking risk. So when I speak about taking risk, here we are trying to tell about the businessman would rather push across. He would not. He is a traditional person who would not be taking only calculated risk. He would be taking a risk that he can handle, he can avoid, and he can accept only the things that he can do by his hands. He would be accepting those risks in the market. But when speaking about an entrepreneur, every step that he is going to do, every innovation that he is going to develop, from day one, it is going to be a risk acknowledgement strategy that he is going to follow across. So when we speak about a risk taker as an entrepreneur here, we also understand that he does mistakes, he learns from the mistakes, and he develops a new strategy to overcome that risk that he has taken. So when we speak about a risk taker and avoid taking risk, it is a very simple gap between a businessman and an entrepreneur. Is entrepreneur, since it is a new thing, every day he has to take risk in taking decisions. But when speaking about avoid taking risk, it has been run throughout the number of years. It has been already tested, it has been already done, it has been already tried, uh, already a rework on the what is that risk has been done. So he would rather avoid, he would go with calculated risk as per his requirements of the business, because an entrepreneur is the one who is going to generate, which is going to be the one of the kind in the market in the initial stages at least. Next is, a businessman is purely profit oriented, and when we speak about entrepreneur, it is going to be people oriented or customer oriented. Guys, try to understand here, when it is a business, it is being set across many years ago, and he would rather think about increasing the more profits of the organization. But entrepreneur, he is an innovator who tries to understand the needs of the consumers, wants of the consumers, and then try to deliver as per their expectations of the needs and wants. So when we are speaking about people orientation, we would tend to understand that the more intact, the more information, and also more communication with the customer is going to happen here. So he would be rather interested in delivering as per the people, as per the consumers, or as per the customers that he is being dealing with. An entrepreneur is a person who is going to continuously take risk, develop proper rapport with the customers or the people or the consumers, and try to deliver as per their expectations of the product. That is what is the difference. And the last one is, businessman is a market player, and entrepreneur is a market leader. So when we speak about market player, a businessman is one person amongst the rest of the businessmen that are available. A market leader is a person who is the only amongst the rest of the market. Yeah. So when we speak about market player, he has competitors, he has many vendors who can deliver a similar kind of product and other things. But when we speak about market leader as such, here we are trying to tell that he is the only person who is going to deliver as per the expectations of the market, and he is going to run the market with his own products. So these are the major differences between a businessman and a entrepreneur. This difference, has it made clear for you? Everybody has understood it? Because when we speak about entrepreneur, we have two kinds of people. One is the an entrepreneur is the innovator, and the businessman is the there is going to be a legacy or a tradition that is going to be followed up by the individual, and that is going to run in the market. Guys, is my voice audible? Yeah, it's not breaking or it is not cutting, no? You can write in the chat box, not an issue. Yeah, fine. Let's go and understand what is an enterprise now. What do you mean by a enterprise? So when we are speaking about the meaning of enterprise, an enterprise is another word for profit business or a company. Basically, what we spoke about a business in this stage, enterprise is something that is being established by an entrepreneur who is trying to make a business out of the entrepreneurship that he has been started, or entrepreneur who has become, at the end of the day, he is going to be for a profit business or a company. But most often associated with entrepreneurial ventures, people who have entrepreneurial success are often referred as enterprising. A person who has started an enterprise, a person who is an entrepreneur, he would tend to develop the strategies, try to earn more profits, and deliver as per the expectations of the organization. For a time being, if he is going to exist in the market, what would tend to happen is he would be rather be called as a enterprising or a enterprise. When we speak about enterprise, it is basically the economic organization or a activity, whatever the economic organization is going to do in terms of delivering the aspects of the organization and also deliver the activities of the organization. The that is called as an enterprise, and it is concerned with profit as well as reaching in the needs of the consumers and wants, and deliver as per the expectations of the organization and also as per the expectations of the consumers. Since it is going to be an enterprise, here the entrepreneur should make sure that he reaches the needs and wants of the consumers and also satisfy the employees that are working, because they would have trusted in his entrepreneurial activities, in his products or service that he is trying to render across in the hands of the consumers. So these are the three meanings wherein we should have to understand the basic meanings of entrepreneur, entrepreneurship, and also a enterprise entrepreneur. Next is, here you are seeing the three top entrepreneurs of India. Basically, Dhirubhai Ambani. Hope you guys have heard about him. You're the one person who started with selling small what is that, edible things on the streets, and he ended up with one of the industries called as Reliance, which the whole world knows, which has been ranked among the ranked top 10 amongst the world, and into they are into almost all the sectors. Then when we speak about Ratan Tata was a person who took over JRD Tata's whole business firm as an enterprise, and he developed it in his own way into developing into multiple aspects. Because earlier days, Tata was known only for, one is the commercial vehicles and the Tata Steel, but now you see in every sector of a business, it can be FMCG, it can be commercial, it can be with respect to construction, anything. Yes, there Tata holds a very legendary name in the market. So these are, and the last one is Narayan Murthy. Narayan Murthy is basically a leader. Uh, how did he start up a software, or software company? Was basically he took around 10,000 rupees from his wife, that is Sudha Murthy, and started up software oriented business with six of his friends, and he started up with around 10,000 rupees, and he is now a multi-million dollar company, and he is a proper leader that an Indian should see as, and also an Indian should look at, wherein all TV people have brought in differentiated impact on the country as a Indians. So they are the change makers, they are the people who understand the needs, they are the one who thought who what are the expectations, they are the people who understood what are the needs and wants of the consumers and deliver as per their expectations, and stand by those needs and wants and give the commitment of the products and the services that they are trying to render. All that these people are major recognized entrepreneurs of the country. This was just a pitch that I was able to give the reason because they have created change and they are also known as the entrepreneurs of the country. See, this is what we actually have to understand. What are the qualities of an entrepreneur? Yeah. So when we speak about the qualities of an entrepreneur, we have to understand to become an entrepreneur, what are the things that an one individual should basically have. Yeah. What he should possess or what he has to be having. There are many, there are more than plenty of them. Yeah, every entrepreneur has his own qualities, but these are very few selected, very few required in this century, that is going to be very much indeed needed by each and every individual out there who is going to become an entrepreneur. So when we speak about qualities of an entrepreneur, we speak about he is a calculated risk taker. So what do you mean by calculated risk taker? See, an entrepreneur is for sure an risk taker. He is a risk evaluator and taker, and he enjoys the excitement of challenging the new and also the upgraded market. Because he's an innovator, he would tend to have that what is that enjoyment of excitement that he is the first doer. So whatever he does, it can be 100% right or it can be 100% wrong, but failures are the steps for the entrepreneurs is what we have understood across years. So a person who is been taking a risk in as an entrepreneur, he has to take calculated, he needs to forecast, he needs to think, he needs to assume, he needs to develop. Yeah. So when we speak about calculated risk taker, here he has to avoid the opportunities that are having high risk in the market and try to evaluate those risk, and whichever are partially acceptable risk that he can go ahead and take those risk and deliver as per the needs of the consumers or the end users. So when we are speaking about the calculated risk taker, try to accept almost all the alternatives amongst the risks that are available. Try to take the best available resource, available risk that is going to be available. Next is they are the innovators. A person or an individual can become an entrepreneur only if he has something new to give to customers or the people. For example, he has something new to give to his customers, he has something new to give to his Guys, sorry, there was a disconnection in the internet, so I'm reconnecting it now. Yeah. Yeah, I was speaking about something called as innovators. A person who is going to start up a new business, he should be an innovator of ideas. It can be with respect to goods, methods of producing it in an innovative way, create a new market out there, sourcing of the raw materials for the products, and also carrying out how the industry is to be run across in a multiple ways. So what is going to help end of the day when we are speaking about an innovative product, when we are speaking about an innovator, a regular innovator is going to capture the market as per the requirements of the market and try to deliver as per the expectations of the market. An entrepreneur is an inventor of commercially and also producer of newer products and better goods when compared to the existing market, and also satisfying the needs of the consumers in a better way. So an innovator is a person who is going to develop in a better manner and a better way. Next is organizers. So when we speak about something called as organizer, an entrepreneur is a basically has to bring in various factors of productions, and also minimizing the losses of the organization, and reduce the cost of productions, and initially also take the decisions about the enterprise, and also delegation of authority is very much required here for an organizer. The reason being, a leader, an entrepreneur should always possess a quality of what is it, delegating the rules and regulations to the people who are working towards achieving the goals of the organization. He needs to be having that authority over the employees to develop in the organization. So once he starts delegating the authority, once he starts the once he reduces the cost of productions, and once he is going to minimize the losses, he can start with the best results of providing or producing the best results as an organizer basically. So when we speak about organizers, the person who organizes himself with the better of the products and services, he would tend to deliver the best outcome as per the requirements of the consumers. The next one is creative. Once we speak about innovation and innovator, we also have to speak about creativity. Entrepreneur is a creative person. He can be an artist, he can be an innovator, and he has to be creative in order to understand the newer aspects of the consumers. So a person who is going to have a creative mind and also creative mentality in the organization, he would tend to be very much successful in terms of delivering as per the expectations of the consumers. So a person who is going to be a creator, who is going to be a creative person or a creative identity, they would tend to deliver as per the expectations. uh, all the people who are the entrepreneurs now are the creative person, because they have thought something out of the box. They have understood something which other people were not able to understand. They have developed something new that none of the other people have tried to even think about it. Yeah, that is what we are speaking about creativity. Next is, an entrepreneur should be achievement motivated. An entrepreneur is a basically an achievement oriented person. The reason being, it is not the money that is going to affectionate him. It is about the work or the challenging work that he is being continuously doing, accomplishment of the process that he has started. Whatever the process that he has started, he tries to deliver as per the expectations. So when we speak about achievement motivated, when he is being deliberately understood about he has to deliver something, and by that results, if he is going to be motivated, those are the things that he is going to capture and stay across in the market. So achievement is one of the motivational factor for an entrepreneur. So one of the best qualities, the more he achieves, the more he builds himself, he tries to motivate, because failures, he learns from failures and he gets motivated from the failures. So achievement motivated person is a person who is going to deliver as per the expectations. Ankush, can you mute yourself? Yeah. Yeah. So I was speaking about technically competent. An individual or an entrepreneur who is going to be running the organization should be technically strong also, as so as to deliver as per the requirement, because technologically most of the people are growing. Today's technology is tomorrow's nothing, because what happens is whatever the technology that is going to be developed across should be dynamic in nature, should be changing, should be regularly happening in terms of a proper pattern is to be created, and also ability to acquire the work, technically acquired work is to be done, is what we are speaking about. Next is self-confident. So when we are speaking about self-confident, as an entrepreneur, as an innovator, the individual person should have self-confidence within himself, so as to adapt, so as to evolve, so as to understand, and also expand the business as much as possible. Because if an individual does not has a faith on himself, he cannot deliver as per the expectations of the organization or the expectations of the society. The only reason, because if you are not self involved, if you are not self confident, if you are not able to convince people out there, you cannot sustain in the market. Next is socially responsible. So what we are speaking about socially responsible is, understand, it is not only about getting in the new product, it is also about or starting up a business or an organization. It is also about trying to be socially responsible to the environment that you are there. It can be with respect to environment, or also with respect to any other aspects of the organization. In the changing environment, what happens is, the socially responsible entrepreneur who is not been who is not been threatened by the progress of others, what happens is he would tend to perform in the same way that he is trying to do in the work. So when we are speaking about socially responsible here, we have to understand that he needs to also, for an example, he also if for example an entrepreneur sets up a business, he also needs to be socially responsible in giving the employment opportunities in and around the people. He needs to make sure that the environment is not polluted by the organization that he's going to start. It should not create any negative impact in the market about the organization. So that because when we speak about socially responsible here, we are speaking about all the aspects of the organization. And the next one is optimistic. An entrepreneur should have an approach of task with the hope of hope of success, and he achieves those goals. He needs to be optimistic in trying to understand that he has to achieve something out there, and he need to have that positive attitude from the day one. If he promotes himself that it is a wrongful product, I would not be able to successful, then he can never be. He needs to have that positive vibe within himself, so as to deliver as per the expectations of the end users and the consumers. So when we are speaking about optimistic or optimism, basically an entrepreneur needs to have a positive attitude. He needs to have that a hope towards developing the best thing out there, and try to deliver as per the expectations and the needs of the consumers. Next and the last point is equipped with capabilities to drive. An entrepreneur is a leader. A leader is the one who tries to develop new kinds of capabilities, build a motivational thought process behind it, and try to deliver as per the expectations of the individual. So when we are speaking about capabilities to drive, it should have some impact, it should have some kind of authority, wherein the entrepreneur should try to establish and also manage the business as per the requirements. The entrepreneurs are the people who are working hard on planning, organizing the managerial functions, basically planning, organizing, directing, coordinating, delegating, controlling, etc. basically when he has that capability to drive that force or drive that people, he would be called as a entrepreneur. So these are few of the qualities what an entrepreneur should basically have. The rest of the secondary things basically when we speak about are the basically human relationship ability, communication ability, decision making ability. So these are also the qualities that an entrepreneur should possess. And also when we speak about business or entrepreneurship as an organization, entrepreneurship planning or business planning is a very important aspect. And also most important thing that is being missed out here is the capital or financial aspects. Yes, the entrepreneur has that freedom to enjoy the what is that financial risk, but also it is very important for an entrepreneur to make sure that he would deliver as per the expectations of the finances, because finance is very important factor that would play a major role depending on whatever the visionary that he's going to set, yeah, is going to lead towards the financial aspects. So today we studied, so these are the things that we need to understand, these are the qualities that and one should possess in terms of entrepreneurship. So today we understood about the meaning of entrepreneurship. One second. Yeah. So today we understood what is the meaning of entrepreneurship management. If you want me to brief it out again, it is a study of how it is a study of how to build a new business, particularly how to create a value for customers whose needs are going to be, whose needs are unmet, whose needs and wants are being increasing. And by doing how you can do it by innovating new things and to reaching our goals is called as basically entrepreneurship management. Basically there is a criteria, need or a want by a consumer, wherein an person innovates something for that and tries to deliver it with having proper planning across the management. So that is basically the meaning of entrepreneurship management. Next is we studied about the meaning of entrepreneurship. When we speak about entrepreneurship, it is a systematic innovation which consists of purposeful. When we speak about purposeful, it should have some goal at the end of the day. Whatever he is trying to make, he has to deliver as per the expectation. The purpose should be met and organized for search changes, because people need change, people want change, people would want something new. In this era most of the people want everything in a different manner, in a different variety. Yeah, so those things and person is going to evaluate and try to develop is called as entrepreneurship. Next is who is an entrepreneur. So entrepreneur, we also tried to understand the meaning. Then we had the differences between the businessman and the entrepreneur. When I speak about a businessman, it is all the traditional way that it has been followed throughout the legacy that has been done across. He is not a risk taker. He is very much oriented only on profits because his market has been already full fledged. His products are being brought by the consumers, and also he is one amongst the players of the market. When we speak about entrepreneur, he is a person of innovation. He is the one who gets the change. He is the one who is going to develop something that is not there already in the market. He would think about revolutionizing the things that are available. He is the one who is ready to take risk in the market. He is the one who will tend to make mistakes in the upfront and try to understand those risks that are available. Next is whatever an entrepreneur is basically going to do is basically going to satisfy the needs and wants of the consumers, and it is going to be developed. And the last one is a market leader. He's not a performer in the market. Yes, his product is going to perform in the market, but at the end of the day, an entrepreneur is a person who would lead the market with a differentiated kind of product. He would have new thought process in terms of developing the product. Next is we also understood about what is the meaning of enterprise. An enterprise is basically a word for profit of business organization or a company, but it is most often associated with entrepreneurial ventures. People who would have entrepreneurial success are always people who have set up an entrepreneur, who has become a businessman. who has set up full-fledged, he at the end of the day, at the completion of minimum tenure, he is going to be called as a enterprising or a entrepreneur. We spoke about the three entrepreneurs of the country who have made a change, who have taken risks in their life, who have developed something that other could not do it, and they have made a change and brought the impact in the country. Then we spoke about the major qualities of an entrepreneur, how it would be helpful for the people or the youth who you are listening. These are the major qualities that are required as an entrepreneur. So that's all for the day, and that's all for the session. If you guys have any, sorry, we can also do the next one, is that is features of entrepreneurship. Yeah, I just forgot this. So what do you mean by features? Features are basically those things which an organization would majorly require. You can also call it as the characteristics. And also when we speak about features, it is also characteristics, and these things are very much important for an entrepreneur. First one is the economic activity. So when we speak about features of entrepreneurship, it is the organization that the business is being organized by an individual, run for a profitability, and also towards satisfying the needs and wants of the consumers in an innovative way, differentiated way, different manner, which he tends to deliver. Next is, what do you mean by economic activity now? So when we speak about economic activity, the classical, when we speak about economic activity, in the last few decades, the economic activity has become catching up primarily and becoming economic in terms of introducing a new product or new goods or new services, introduction of new method of productions, trying to develop economic activity is basically the stability of an individual in terms of the consumers economic stability. So when we speak about economic activity, it is very important aspect of the organization in terms of delivering the expected economic needs of the consumers or the end users. Next one is innovative activity. The major characteristics of any entrepreneur is basically the innovative activity. An individual needs to be innovative. It is one of the major characteristic or feature of an entrepreneurship. The reason being, if there is no innovation, if there is no development, if there is nothing something new, the people would not have brought in the product. Speaking about telecom as an industry, just think about Tata Docomo. They are the one people who started. Yeah, everybody had a minute call. They started pay per second call. Yeah, that was the important innovative. Among the time, they divided the time into seconds and they delivered to the consumers. That was something innovative amongst which rest of the people had not done it. So innovation as an activity is a very important aspect that we have to look into. Yeah. Next is a function of high achievement. An entrepreneur is a person who tend to be involved in doing things in a different and a better way, decision making under the uncertain situations, and once you perform in such a kind of risk only, you would tend to deliver. No, that itself is called as an achievement. An achiever is not a person who would perform when nobody is there. An achiever is a person who would regularly keep on performing as per the needs of the market and needs of the consumers in terms of business or entrepreneurship I'm speaking in the market, who try to do different normal things in a different way. Next is creative and purposeful activity. uh, when we speak about entrepreneurship is a virtually and a creative and a purposeful activity. Entrepreneurship is basically creativity. From the first slide we are speaking that entrepreneurship needs to have creativity, it should have a purposeful vision, it should have a proper way to it, and try to develop which is differentiated, which is going to be differentiated amongst the people, and also try to deliver as per the expectations. The major thing is, and entrepreneurship, the feature of an entrepreneurship is going to be he has to be an entrepreneur, because entrepreneur itself has a lot of meaning towards it. He needs to be all this features that you're seeing: an economic activity, innovator, an achiever, a purposeful activity, and he needs to be before becoming an entrepreneurship, he needs to be a proper risk taker, a person who can deliver as per the expectations. So these are the things how people would think differently in terms of characteristics of a entrepreneur. And the last one is entrepreneurship. So when we speak about entrepreneurship, it is dynamic in nature. It is going to be multi-dimensional concept. It is both, as we have said in management, it is both art and science as well. Where then entrepreneurship is basically to do with what a person can do, how we can do, how differently he can create an impact towards the product that is being dealt across. So one of the important these are the features of one of the features of entrepreneurship, wherein they would tend to deliver, yeah, wherein they would tend to deliver in terms of the requirements of the needs and wants of the consumers, and try to establish that intact and contact with the consumers, and try to deliver as per the wants and needs of the consumers. So these are the things that we studied across today. If you have any doubts, you can write back to me, and if you have any clarifications that are to be made, any session that is to be repeated, kindly let me know then, and on same day, so that we make sure that tomorrow's class we would go with the previous session and then get back again. Yes, so that's all for the day. And people who have chosen marketing as a specialization, after this you have advertisement session. Kindly accept the invite that sir has sent, Shripad sir has sent. After that, at 11 sorry at 12:30 I would be engaging a advertisement and media management session. Yes, thank you. I Any doubts you have, guys, I can wait for another 2 minutes, or I'll wait for your this one. 59 members are there. So Akshata, Ankush, Anusha, Bhakti, Bharat, Bhavna, Diksha, Darshan, Goda, Chandana, Charan, Harani. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, guys. We'll meet in the next session.